Okay, I've got quite a big stack here. We're going to talk about middle grade March and a pile of possibilities because I could not just narrow it down. So I went and picked up a book on hold from the library. I checked out our local library, put a couple books on hold, and then while I was there, I kind of perused around. The day that I went to the library, though, it was super busy, so I didn't get to look as much as I wanted to. And I was grabbing books for my kiddos. A lot was happening. So I picked up a couple books. I don't really have a rhyme or reason to this stack and how to go through it. So I think what I will do is let me start with the library books and explain why we got what we got from the library and which prompts it'll fit in. Also, hi, hello. If we've not met before, my name is Elena, homeschooling mama to 3 kiddos. We talk about homeschooling, homemaking, all the things in between. Let's get back to the books. So the first book that I was able to get at our local library, which I was super excited about, was the group read. The group read for middle grade March is The Mona Lisa Vanishes. And this, I did not know that the Mona Lisa was not as famous until it was stolen. And so I'm so glad that the library had it because I looked online for our library and the digital books, both the audio and the ebook, were several months out hold. And then one library next to us didn't have it at all. And then the next library over had 2 copies and one was available. So I snatched it up. I'll probably start reading this one as one of the first reads, just in case anybody else in my area is doing middle grade March and wants to pick up the book as well. That way I can return it and they can have it sometime in March. Anyways, if you've watched any of the other videos, you'll know this is a group read. You've heard about it. We can move past it. But if you haven't, really quickly, it just talks about the Mona Lisa, the painting, and how it was stolen and how this kind of, I think, makes it famous. So that's the group read. That's the easiest one to explain. What is happening here? Oh, look. My kids were looking for these the other day. We'll just put them back. Anyways, the next one, let me pull up the prompts too. I will link down below the middle grade March announcement video for this year in case you haven't seen it and would like to join in. And that has all of the prompts on there, but there are, all in all, there are 6 prompts with 1 bonus prompt. And really I love this because 1, you are reading middle grade books or books directed towards the middle grade years, and 2, there's no pressure. You could double up on books. You can have 1 book that meets multiple prompts, and I think that's how we'll head into this, is that I will share what book I'm thinking, the book that I'm reading, and what prompt I'm thinking of using it for, but also it could be used for other prompts, and I'll share which ones those are. So the prompts are, if you've not heard yet what the prompts are, the first one is 1-word title. For that, I did check out a book from the library called Rewind by Lisa Graff. And this one I just found on a whim. I didn't know heading into the library that I was going to look for a 1-word title because there's a lot, it seems like. And this one it was on display and it seemed interesting. So this might be a possibility for me. This is following 12-year-old McKinley O'Dare, and she's concerned the best thing about living in Gap Bend, Pennsylvania is the time hop, the giant party the town throws every June to celebrate a single year in history. That one day is enough to make the few things that aren't so fantastic about McKinley's life, like her crappy homeroom teacher or her super scheduled father, worth suffering through. And when McKinley learns that this year's theme is 1993, she can't wait to enter the Time Hop fashion show with the killer's 90s outfit she's designed and sewn all on her own. But of course, nothing goes as planned. Before she knows, she finds herself in the real 1993. This is I think it's described as Back to the Future with a 90s twist and middle grade. And so I remember the 90s quite fondly. And so I thought it would be fun to try this out and see if maybe this could be my 1-word read. The other one that I was thinking for the 1-word prompt is one that I picked up from my son's shelf. This is Wonder. He took off the paper book jacket from it, but in doing that, I don't mind at all that he did that. Look at this this copy here has where it's not engraved, but I don't even know what the word is. And I hope it shows up there. It says choose kind in the book here. And so I love that. And so originally I thought this would be the one that I would read for the one word prompt. This is by R.J. Palacio, but then I found Rewind at the library. So it will be one of these. Maybe I'll read both. We don't know. But either one of these are my option for that prompt. So the other prompt for a debut novel, I looked to other recommendations and things, and on Storygraph, somebody had added to the challenge The Penderwicks. This is by Jean. Is it Jean? Jean? Oh my gosh. I'm not sure. I'm so sorry. Birdsall. I probably should have refreshed my mind, but as always, we have a lot of stuff happening right now, and I just got like a 10-minute to pop in and film. So anyways, The Penderwicks. This follows a group of children, and it's supposed to be just like kind of a little bit more lighthearted. 4 Penderwick sisters find themselves staying on a beautiful estate for their summer holidays, and it kind of follows them around, and this companion that they meet, Jeffrey, son of the estate's owner, and of course Jeffrey's mom is less than thrilled with the Penderwick sisters and warns the new friends to stay out of trouble, which of course they will, won't they? So this is a series. There's more books after this, but I just picked up the first one because I thought, like I said, for the debut novel, this would be the one that I would like to read. But then I also remembered that a few years back ago, we had purchased books from the Green Ember series, and I started reading the very first one with my oldest son now, and he finished it off on his own. We never finished it as a group read, and I've always wanted to go back and finish it, so I don't have a physical copy of the first book, The Green Ember by S.D. Smith, but I do have a ebook from it, so that might be one that I can use for that prompt. If you've not heard of the Green Ember series, it actually follows rabbits. Heather and Pickett are extraordinary rabbits with ordinary lives until oh my gosh, I can't say this word. Calamitous events overtake them, spilling them into a cauldron of misadventures. They discover that their own story is bound up in the tumult threatening to overwhelm the wider world. Kings fall and kingdoms totter. Tyrants ascend and terrors threaten. Betrayal beckons and loyalty is a broken road with peril around every bend. Where will Heather and Pickett land, and how will they make their stand? We may go back to finishing it as a read aloud, but for right now, I for sure want to finish it at least. So I also put that on as a possibility for the debut novel book. It will also work as an animal on the cover, which is another prompt in here. So there's that as well. It could go either way if you wanted to do that. For some reason, we had book 3. Is this book 3? Yeah, we have book 3, which also has animals on the cover. But we didn't have, this is the only physical copy I have of the book. So I'm going to read it on the ebook. The plan is to read it on the ebook. See, maybe we'll add the physical copy to our library as well someday. So that is the debut novel prompt. For the immigrant and refugee story, which is the third prompt, I picked up Front Desk. And this is by Kelly Yang. And the cover makes it look like it's going to be such a maybe fun, lighthearted read. But from what I've heard from the recommendations is that it's not. It gets a little bit, I mean, not that it's not a fun read, but that it can be a little bit more intense, maybe a little bit heavier. So Mia Tang has a lot of secrets. Number one, she lives in a motel, not in a big house. So her immigrant parents clean the rooms, and 10-year-old Mia manages the front desk. Number two, her parents hide immigrants. They are hiding immigrants in the hotel unbeknownst to the hotel owner. And she wants to be a writer, but how can she when her mom thinks she should stick to math because English is not her first language? And so I picked this one up for the immigrant and refugee story. I kind of was hoping to look around and see if I can find any others, but like I said, when I ended up visiting the library, it was a little chaotic that day, and so this is just the only one that I picked up for that prompt. For book, I have book 2. for prompt 4, I am in the middle of reading, well, not quite in the middle. This is how much I've read. This is a reread for me, Harry Potter. It's book 2, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. And this one I had started before, and like I said, I haven't finished it quite yet as the reread because it's lost in all of my current reads. So I do want to finish though the reread. I'm finding that I'm enjoying rereading the books. I think that I watched the movies so many times that I forgot the details of the books. So it's been really fun to go back into the series and read it. But I noticed that it also has a couple of birds on the cover of this particular cover that I have. So this one would work as well for the, and there's also snakes on the back. I don't know if the back cover counts, but for an animal on the cover prompt. The animal on the cover prompt ended up being one that I picked multiple books for. One that we did have on our shelf that I was thinking of reading was The One and Only Ivan. This one follows, it's told, believe it's told from the viewpoint of the gorilla who lives in a mall. So he is in a mall and he misses his life in the jungle. And so it follows his viewpoint. He meets Ruby, a baby elephant taken from her family, and she makes Ivan see their home and his own art through new eyes. When Ruby arrives, change comes with her, and it's up to Ivan to make a change for the better. And then I know that there are follow-up stories to this from the viewpoint of the different animals in there. And so I've heard this is another book that a couple people are picking up to read for the prompt. So I realized we had it on our shelf and I thought, oh, maybe this could work. So that is a possibility as well. But then I also found this was an ARC copy that we had picked up somewhere along the way, Julia and the Shark. And this is by Karen Millwood Hargrave and illustrated by Tom DeFreston. And I'm not sure, like I said, I'm not sure if this was the final cover that they came out with. If I can find it, I will try to put a picture up for comparison for you. But this one, my son ended up reading it because he is a big fan of sharks. It's very interesting to him. So this one follows 10-year-old Julia. She loves the mysteries of the ocean, just like her scientist mother. Her family is spending the summer on a remote island where her mom is searching for the elusive Greenland shark, a creature that might be older than the trees and so rare that it's only been seen a few times. But the ocean is reluctant to give up its secrets, and Julia tries not to worry as her mother returns disappointed at the end of each day. Determined to prove that the shark is real, Julia sets off on a quest to find it herself, armed with a set of coordinates, a compass, and her trusty rain jacket. She soon realizes that there are some journeys you shouldn't go on alone. As Julia comes face to face with the dark and wondrous truths of the sea, she finds the strength to leave the shark in the deep and kick up towards the light. Through a unique blend of words and art, Julia and the Shark tells an unforgettable story full of dark depth and starry nights, starry skies, courage, and hope. So my oldest, like I said, did read this. He was like, oh, I read that one was a good one. You might really like that book. So that is also a possibility for that. And then there is one more possibility that could be either for the animal on the cover or prompt 5, which is a book you feel you missed out on. I love this prompt, and there's just so many that I did not realize I feel like I missed out on. So for that, I have The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. Now, this one, like I said, it does have animals on the cover. It's got the Cowardly Lion. This is the Usborne Illustrated version. It's illustrated by Lorena Alvarez Gomez and of course written by L. Frank Baum. I don't think that I've ever read the book, The Wizard of Oz. I have watched the movie multiple times. I've watched remakes of the movie, but I don't think as a child or as an adult that I have ever fully read the actual book, The Wizard of Oz. So I thought that this one might be fun to read because of the illustrations, but also because I've never read it. And wouldn't that be great to see the difference between the book and the movie? Because as we know, you can't have It's not always the same, right? Very rarely is it the same. I'm trying to find more pictures to show you guys. There's just little illustrations in between the book as well. So this one will work for either one of those, and it is yet another possibility. Originally, though, a book I missed out on, prompt, I had I planned to go to my kiddos' shelves for this prompt, because after they read a book, sometimes they'll be like, oh, you should read this and you would really like it. But unfortunately, I'm not always picking it up because, I don't know, I'm not in the mood for it, and I'm very much a mood reader. But Middle Grade March puts me more in the mood for middle grade books. And so I picked up one book from each of my kiddos. Well, I picked up more than one book from my kiddos' shelves, but I picked up two books, one from my daughter's and one from my oldest son's shelf that hit the middle grade mark and that they have both recommended to me. So the first one is the first Dork Diaries book. This is Tales from a Not So Fabulous Life. My daughter just fell in love with these books and she wanted to collect the entire series. And so we've hunted and looked and bought used from thrift stores. And then she's also gotten a couple as like birthday gifts or Christmas gifts, things like that. So she has, I believe she has the series up to date as of now, but I mean, there's always books that are coming out. These are by Rachel Renee Russell, and so I thought this would be a fun this would be a fun read to include in the prompt books I missed out on. There is also that bonus prompt though, and the bonus prompt is just any middle grade book that you want to read. So it could fall into there as well, but because my daughter has read the whole series and I have not read them, I thought it would be fun to read one. In fact, when I was coming to film this and she saw it in my hand, I told her, oh, I forgot to tell you, could I borrow your book? She was very excited and she was like, I think you're gonna love it. You can borrow all my books when you're done. And so I just, to have that bond and stuff and know what she's reading, I think that this would be a great book that I'm going to aim to read this month. For my son, he had previously recommended to me Book Scavenger. This book, I can remember the first time he read it because it was just so fun. So Book Scavenger is written by Jennifer Chambliss Bertman, and there are a couple of books that go with this because he gave them all to me, but I was like, let him know I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get through all of them this month, maybe, but I don't know. So the original book is the Book Scavenger, and then they have the Book Scavenger, the Unbreakable Code, and then Book Scavenger, the Alcatraz Escape. So this follows 12-year-old Emily is on the move again. Her family's relocating to San Francisco, home of her literary idol, Garrison Griswold, creator of the online sensation Book Scavenger, a game where books are hidden all over the country and clues to find them are revealed through puzzles. Oh, I remember a little bit more now. It's jogging my memory. When he first read this, there's actually an online where you can go and kind of do book scavengers yourself. There wasn't, unfortunately, any in our area, but that was a fun thing to imagine and to they're puzzles, but they're puzzles you have to figure out where the book is hidden. And so, but Emily soon learns that Griswold has been attacked and is in a coma, and no one knows anything about the epic new game he had been poised to launch. Then Emily and her new friend James discover an odd book, which they come to believe is from Griswold and leads to a valuable prize. But there are others on the hunt for this special book, and Emily and James must race to solve the puzzles Griswold left behind before his attackers come after them. How cute is this? They even have a little... So these are fun, like little mystery books for the middle grade type thing. And like I said, this was one that my son had recommended to me actually after he first read it, and I never got around to it. So I wanted to add it to, for sure, my list of possibilities. But quite honestly, because these are two of my favorite kiddos books, I want to get to them, make them a priority for this reading challenge. That is it. I'm sure I could go through their shelves and find tons more that they would recommend to me, which is awesome. And throughout all these videos and the group, the Discord group, there are just so many books that look so great and sound amazing. But it's great to have options, and I have tons, and so I'm going to just kind of go with what I want to read. Like I said, I'm going to try to prioritize the group read and then the books for my kiddos. I don't know that the books for my kiddos, I don't know if either of these is like, if I could switch them up, if one is a debut novel or there's no animals and they're not single words, so I don't know. But there's these also, so prioritize those, and then we'll see at the end of the month how many books I actually read, what I read, and my thoughts on them. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. I can't wait to see what everybody is reading this month and what they are liking, what they're not liking. Let me know down below if you are going to be in Middle Grade March, and also I will leave the link to the video with a Middle Grade March announcement, and I have started a Discord group for clean reads, which is typically what I gravitate towards. So that link for that Discord group will be down below also. Thanks so much for watching and hanging out with me, and as always, if you don't know or you just need to be reminded, may I be the one to tell you that you are deeply and truly loved and so appreciated. Again, I really appreciate you taking your time out and spending it here with me. Thanks for watching.